Welcome to True Crime Shadows, where we re-examine the most enigmatic and unsolved crimes in history. Cases that shocked the world, yet their perpetrators were never caught. Autumn 1888, Whitechapel, London. A city drowning in whispers of terror, Jack the Ripper stalks these streets, a phantom in the gloom. But who was he? And what secrets does the darkness hold? Autumn 1888, Whitechapel in East London was shrouded in darkness and shadow. Its narrow alleys and wet cobblestones bore witness to a terror that would alter history forever. In this impoverished district, silence mingled with the stench of despair. Every step through these alleys could be the last. Whitechapel's helpless women wandered these alleys at night, seeking bread. But the darkness hid a merciless hunter. In the heart of the shadows, a phantom with a sharp knife lay in wait. His twisted mind turned Whitechapel into his hunting ground. August 31st, 1888, Mary Ann Nichols fell in Bucks Row. The killer's first strike plunged Whitechapel into terror. A trail of blood on the cobblestones was the police's only clue. But the night's ambiguity, like the killer's accomplice, hid the truth. September 8th, Annie Chapman fell in a quiet courtyard. The killer struck coldly and vanished into the shadows. The killer moved like a silent phantom. The night's haze, his ally, swallowed every trace of his presence. September 30th, the double event began. Elizabeth Stride fell in Dutfield's yard, the start of a bloody night. Hours later, Catherine Eddowes was killed in Mitre Square. The chalk message on the wall was a puzzle that baffled the police. November 9th, Mary Jane Kelly was killed in her Dorset Street home. This brutal crime was the killer's most savage act, piquing the terror. With Mary Jane's death, the murders reached their climax. Darkness and shadows etched a horrific scene in Whitechapel forever. Police searched the alleys with lanterns and maps, but the killer was always one step ahead. Every clue vanished into the night's ambiguity. The Dear Bosses and From Hell letters arrived with mocking words. They deepened the terror and complicated the mystery. After Mary Jane, the killer vanished into the shadows. Only a name remained: Jack the Ripper, a legend etched in history. Who was Jack the Ripper? This question haunted police and historians for years. Each suspect hides a mysterious story in the shadows. Aaron Kosminski, a barber with a troubled mind, was on the police's suspect list. Without evidence, he remained just a shadow in the darkness. Montague John Druitt, a lawyer who drowned in the Thames. Did he take his life or flee justice? His secret lies buried in the dark waters. Walter Sickert, a painter some believe encoded the murders in his art. Does his work reveal the truth or merely deceive? Prince Albert Victor, the Queen's grandson, was rumored to have killed to cover a scandal. But this tale, like the night's ambiguity, remains unproven. James Maybrick, a merchant whose 1992 diary claimed he was Jack the Ripper. Are these confessions true or a fabricated tale? Each of these shadows could have been Jack the Ripper. But Whitechapel's darkness hid his true identity forever. James's diary, if genuine, is a window into a killer's mind. Its confessions are filled with madness and divine justifications for the murders. In 1992, Michael Barrett in Liverpool claimed to have found this diary, but its true origin remains shrouded in mystery. James's words are filled with rage and madness. He describes the murders as divine punishment. But is this the truth? In the diary, James claims he killed Mary Ann Nichols with his knife. This first murder sparked unprecedented terror. "I finished her with God's laughter." James saw murder as a sacred mission, a deadly dance in Whitechapel's alleys. Annie Chapman, the second victim in the diary, was killed in a quiet courtyard. James saw this murder as part of his divine plan. "I am judge and executioner." James saw himself as a divine punisher chosen to cleanse Whitechapel. The double event, James took 2 victims in mere hours. Elizabeth and Catherine fell in Whitechapel's shadows. God said, "Kill," I danced. For James, murder was a deadly dance justified by divine commands. Mary Jane Kelly, the final victim in the diary, was killed in her home. James saw this murder as the pinnacle of his mad work. "This is my glorious end." James claimed he finished his work with this murder, but the truth remains hidden in ambiguity. The murders were a mad game for James, justified by divine purpose. But does this diary tell the truth or spin a fabricated tale? Was James Maybrick truly Jack the Ripper? This diary, with its chilling claims, continues to baffle investigators. Tests revealed the diary's ink doesn't match the Victorian era. Is this evidence of a forgery or merely a trick of time? Michael Barrett repeatedly changed his story. Sometimes he claimed he found the diary, sometimes he said he wrote it. Where lies his truth? No evidence ties James to Whitechapel. How could he travel between Liverpool and London without being seen? If James wasn't the killer, perhaps Kosminski with his troubled mind or Druitt with his mysterious death. Each holds a secret. Perhaps Sickert with his dark paintings or Prince Albert with his scandalous rumors. Each possibility is a mystery in the shadows. The truth of Jack the Ripper is locked in the shadows. Whitechapel took this secret to its grave, leaving us in darkness. Autumn 1888 ended, but Jack the Ripper's terror changed Whitechapel forever. Its alleys still whisper his story. Jack's knife fell silent, but his shadow lingers in London's alleys. His name still echoes in the darkness. The police sought the truth, but letters and clues only deepened the mysteries. Jack the Ripper always slipped through their grasp. Whitechapel transformed from the shadows of 1888 into a legend. Jack the Ripper's name lives on in London's alleys and history. The gloom thickens and the alley vanishes into darkness. A bloodied blade remains, a silent testament to terror. Whitechapel holds its breath. Who was Jack the Ripper? Where did he vanish? Will his shadow haunt these streets forever? This story remains forever unfinished.